Hello again, everybody. Welcome to Good to Know Shreveport-Bossier. This is our podcast showcasing all the good things, the positive things happening in and around our community. My name is Jeff Binefor. Over here to my right is my co-host, Paul Reeser. He's a member of the Committee of 100. By the way, I interviewed the head guy from the Committee of 100 down in Baton Rouge this week.
Oh, the state committee.
Yeah, Adam Knapp. He was pretty good. Anyway, let me move on. This podcast focuses on topics and initiatives having a positive impact on our community, and we have new episodes every other every other Wednesday. And you can find Good to Know wherever you listen to your podcasts, all the major platforms. So, as always, we have a special guest, terrific. And the honors to introduce him fall to you.
That would be me.
Don't fall asleep. He'll get around to saying your name in about 8 minutes.
Well, thank you, Jeff, for another excellent introduction of my introduction. And I'm excited about it. You're not going to believe this. I'm so excited
I had a feeling
about the guest today, because today we're going to be talking about something that has been going on for decades in the Architects. But I tell you the truth, I've been sleeping on it. I haven't been myself in a very long time. Went this year. It was fantastic. What I've been missing out on.
You loved it. It was fabulous.
I loved it. There's art, there's music, there's food, there's so much going on.
Is there any way we might find out what this is at some point?
Oh, of course. I'm talking about the Red River Revel and Cork Wine Festival.
Oh.
And today we have the executive director of both of those, Mr. Logan Lewis. Logan, thanks for staying awake during my introduction. It was a great introduction, man. Come on.
Yeah, it was like the best introduction ever so far, and welcome.
Hey, welcome, Logan. Thanks for coming out.
Yeah.
By the way, your initials are like Lois Lane, Lana Lang, all the Superman characters.
That's correct,
right?
yeah.
Lori Lemaris, the mermaid. Yeah,
I love a lively alliteration.
Do you?
Anyway, Logan, so tell us a little bit about the wine. We got so much to talk about.
Assonance as well?
What's that?
Assonance?
I like you.
Well, alliteration is repetition of consonants, and assonance is repetition of vowel sounds. So I'm just.
Thank you.
We're educational as well.
There's so much to learn here, Logan.
Yeah.
Learn about Logan.
Especially once you start talking, we're going to learn a lot. Because, hey, people may not even know what all's going on with the Red River Revel. So tell us a little bit about that, and then we're going to get to the Cork Festival, which is really cool too.
Yeah, so the Red River Revel is a nonprofit, obviously 501c3. Was the festival itself was started in 1976. It was, kind of a celebration of the bicentennial, and it was created by the Junior League of Shreveport-Bossier as a gift to the citizens of the Architects. And in 1982, they said, we got something really going here. Let's start up a nonprofit, and got their determination letter. Hired an executive director, and has grown so much over the years ever since. It was on the riverfront next to Expo Hall outside its first year, and over the years it's gotten bigger. They've moved the locations. Festival Plaza was built, I would say, pretty much mostly with our event and Mudbug Madness in mind. And then the pavilions came later, and we've seen some incredible music acts there. Amazing artists have come through the festival. It is a really awesome cultural event that happens annually, and the unique thing about that is that we created it here in Northwest Louisiana. It's our creation, unique to us, and so in many ways the citizens of the region own it, because it's our festival. In the way that Jazz Fest would be owned by New Orleans, or Austin City Limits is owned by the city of Austin. It's a unique festival created by the citizens that are from here. It's not a corporate entity that came in, and so we want to put this on. And I think that makes it pretty special.
Right. There's a lot of Mardi Gras parades around, but we didn't invent Mardi Gras, but we invented the Red River Revel right here. And that thing just is sprawling. It is, Festival Plaza is huge, but this thing fills up the entire area.
Yeah, and it goes beyond. So we're from Market Street all the way to Clyde Fant. It's a big undertaking, and it takes all year to plan. We've actually already. It takes a little bit longer than a year, truth be told. Wow. I start with idea formation for more or less the theme or some of the bigger programs for for next year's festival this past July. So it's about a year and a half is when we start kind of putting the plan together And then by the end of the year, those plans get a lot more solidified. So right now we kind of have a good idea of what we want to do next year. And then we have to work towards pulling all that program together.
Did you share some of those ideas?
Not yet.
You can't do that.
But I can say one thing that is interesting that will be new next year, and we're very excited about it, is we're changing the format for the first time in multiple decades for the number of days that we do. So typically, most people would be, if you're familiar with the Revel, would understand that we always open on a Saturday, and we are consecutive days through the next Sunday, and it's open every single day at 11 a.m. The formula itself has got more difficult in recent years. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday is kind of it's a grind. It takes a little bit more effort. It's not always a winner, and so we're changing the format to be a little bit more like those festivals I mentioned, where we're going to open on a Thursday and be open for 2 consecutive weekends, Thursday to Sunday. So the last weekend of September, first weekend of October, we'll open on Thursday and run through Sunday evening and close for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday in between. And we feel like that's going to give us an opportunity to, put our best foot forward on the best days possible. Those are typically the days with the best traffic. They're easier for people to attend. We don't want to lose the lunchtime crowd, that we have. A lot of downtown people come for lunch, and we don't want to lose that. So we still want to be open during the week, but the weekend is really where most of the attention is focused, and I think that this is going to help us, move to a new level.
Sounds like a pretty exciting change and an important one. People need to know about that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's what we're talking about it early. We'll be talking about it all year long.
So people that haven't been to the Revel in a while or have never been, what do you expect when you come walking in? What is a Red River Revel?
Well, I think the first thing you're going to see when you come in is, there's a lot, like you said, there's a lot going on. Everything from amazing artists to performances that can happen on stage, and some happen just in, a corner of the festival. You turn a corner, you're going to discover something new. We want people to be able to come in and find something that they love, no matter what day they come. You're going to have great food and, of course, excellent music. The way that the philosophy is to program this festival, specifically when it comes to the music and performing arts, is that we have 4 stages, 2 really big ones in the pavilion, and then an art alley stage, and then one in what we call the DMZ or Discovery Maker Zone. It's the more children and families area. And in those 4 spaces at any given point, if we have, let's say, country music on one stage, you're not going to find country music on the others. You're going to find something completely different. So discovery is like sort of the fun part of being at the festival, finding new things. And as you mentioned, a lot of people don't realize how many great artists that there are there. People you might know, local artists, get to have the opportunity to show their art, sell their art there, and so there's discovery around every corner. And I think that's the interesting thing about it, that it's like you said, it's ours. We created it, but you can come and be, have your nostalgia with those things that maybe if you've been before, you expect to see every single year, but you can also find new things, at every turn.
So I'm big into comic books and superhero art. Do you have that?
We have, yeah.
You do? Actually, I haven't been. I got to go check that out.
Yeah, we have had artists that specifically specialize in illustration for comic book art.
Nice.
And it looked like, so there's local artists, people that are just artists on the weekend that set up a booth, and then professional artists that do this just full time, coming in from all over the country, just Louisiana or all over the country?
All over the country, and some from out of the country as well.
Okay.
We have had artists come from out of the country. The art festival industry itself, a lot of people may not know this, but there's only what we consider 2 actual art festivals of our size and caliber in the state. The other is in Covington, Covington 3 Rivers, which just happened a couple of weeks ago. There are a lot of shows that do the juried art process, where you have artists submit their work, and then they are judged and scored and then invited based on those scores. But the other festivals that do that are usually focused on music or a specific part of their culture, food, a resource. But our cornerstone is the art, and so is the case for Covington. When you go to the East Coast, the Midwest, and the Northeast, these are really popular shows. They happen all the time. and there's a concentration of artists is a lot higher. So we do get a lot of people from those areas that come down for our festival because it is unique to our area. If you were going to try to find another art festival like it, you would have to go to Dallas or Gulfport, Mississippi. So I think that's a really unique thing that makes us sort of stand out a little bit. The artists that come to us, we have people that come to us from many states away that have been coming for 20 or 30 years, have built up a customer base. And they're all professional in a way. I think the cool thing about the Red River Revel is that it has built a culture of art here in Northwest Louisiana and East Texas that has helped many artists be able to sustain a full-time career in this industry and travel to other shows. And that's a really awesome thing that we take a lot of pride in. We have this emerging artist program where we bring people up and show them how this works and how they can be successful at it. And the culture of the artists themselves, a lot of them only go to the same shows, they know each other, and so it is, it's sort of like, that Carney group that travels to the same places, but very different, much more highbrow than that.
Well, there was so many different types. There was art, there was cartoon looking things like Jeff would like, superheroes, and then there was like beautiful photography, large prints, and then I bought some Louisiana art from the guy from Baton Rouge.
Yep, Chase Mullen.
Yes.
Yep.
Fantastic.
Good friend.
So you mentioned about how they come to the show. Do they have to be invited, or do they try to garner their own spots?
They do have to be invited.
They do have to be invited.
So we put out an application in the beginning of the year, and they apply, and they submit 4 photos of their art and 1 photo of what their booth looks like, because that's also important. Is how does it present? Sure. And then we have a system in place where we have usually 5 or 6 jurors. They are made up of people like gallery owners or art professors or people who work in art councils. They have knowledge of quality and skill and technique, and they just see the artist statement where the artist says what their purpose is or what their medium is and how they approach it, and they see the pictures, and then they're scoring that based on several criteria that we give them. The rules are pretty extensive. There's a lot of things that are not allowed, and this we model our rules the same as other art festivals do around the country, and we're pretty strict about it because artists they're judgmental when the show is not a certain quality. They will tend to not go to a show if they feel like it is trending towards craft and not art and a high level. And so the higher level that you have, the more competitive that they are, the better artists you're going to attract. And it's kind of a two-way street because you have to have good artists to attract high-end buyers, but you have to have high-end buyers to attract good artists. So you're kind of working on both of those things at the same time.
Catch-22. Yeah, but so it's just that I don't just to get to show up with my paint by numbers set up on a...
Well, one of the things that most artists have figured out, especially post-pandemic, is that the key to success and to be really successful is to diversify what your offerings are. So if you have those large pieces that are originals that are going to be a centerpiece in someone's living room that may cost several $1,000s, you need to have other things available that are at a lower price point so that people who don't quite have that kind of income can still participate and get in the game a little bit. And I think that's important. And the artists that have done that have had a good balance between the two, have done very well. And they make a lot of money. You'd be surprised, how much they
I'm not surprised from what I dished out for this painting. I've got...
Well, you got all that French fries on it, man. Come on now.
That's right. No, but it's gorgeous. So you can pick something up for $10 in one corner and $10,000 in the other.
Yep.
While we were in the back corner, though, there was a great little folk band kind of playing back there, and then there was, rock music on the main band on the main stage. So there was entertainment, and it was going on all the time. Is there always music happening?
We do during the week at lunch. We do just music on the main stage, and that's really more just for an entertainment value. But we have also started this past year, and we're going to continue to push this because I loved it. We got great support from Liz Swain on this. Is a lunch. I wouldn't call it lunch and learn, but I would call it lunch learning in a way, but we had panels and speakers to talk about several different topics on the other depot stage, and it was short, 45 minutes, but interesting to those who are in a professional setting. So we talked about some of the historical tax credits for buildings. We talked about
It's
the
been
current
in the
real
news lately.
yeah, we talked. Yeah, it was, and it was at the time that was really interesting. There were several topics that we had. Some was starting your own business and things like that. It was really interesting, and I think that is perfect for where I see the future of the festival going. I know you want to ask me about this later, but I just wanted to point out that it's one of those things that we're starting to add to the festival that really makes it become sort of like the communal table where this is a place where community gathers and where community happens.
Well, it's kind of like at San Diego Comic-Con, for lack of they do that with panels on the books and movies, television shows, all that kind of stuff. But they do that. People come in and they have the panels up on the stage and they just ask them questions and stuff.
It's some of my favorite things that happen, and one of the things that when we go talk to other festival owners and we go to good conferences and stuff and hear what people are really interested in, the one thing that a lot of festival promoters are looking for now is added value in their festivals. That today, in today's culture, people don't just want good music and some good food, and a good atmosphere. They want to be able to have that and have something that they can take away personally, something like whether that's a learning experience or something valuable. A valuable experience is really what people want. So workshops, seminars, interactive opportunities for people to get involved, or ways that they can, further their personal brand on social media by taking great pictures and video.
Right.
Those are types of things that draw people.
Well, it was good food. I walked around a couple of times like, what am I going to get? So I finally just got everything. I got like a turkey leg and a gyro and a quesadilla and a cinnamon roll. Oh my God, it was fantastic.
And a big piece of art.
And a big piece of art. So we're going to talk about the Cork in just a minute, Cork Festival, because that's super cool. But just one thing that was impressive, amazing to me, is what an impact this event has economically on the area. So tell me just a little bit about that. How much money it brings to the area and how that compares to other things.
So the last time that we did an economic impact study was probably 2 or 3 years ago, and it was more than $5 million in direct impact to the area. And our budget is 86% of it is spent in Caddo and Bossier Parish.
Nice.
But even though we're bringing in all these music acts from across the world, it's only 10% or so of our budget, really. I mean, it takes a lot to put this on. People don't realize how much it takes. When you think about all the vendors and the security and the rentals and just the supplies alone. The supplies are very expensive, and insurance. I mean, all these vendors. We are very focused on spending our money in our region, and then beyond that, you have. The Revel itself, just us, we spend on hotel rooms for our traveling artists more than 1,000 hotel room nights for the festival.
Wow. Oh, wow.
Just for our artists. That doesn't even include all the hotels that the artists who are coming in for a week are buying, and those who are coming in for the festival. How much money that they spend with our vendors, because the food vendors are a mix of for-profit and non-profit organizations that use this festival. They do very well with it as a way to make money, and so that spreads out all these what we call T-shirt securities, private professional security. They're local citizens, our local police, EMS, get paid directly. And so when you think about how that spreads out just from our organization and what we spend, not to mention what the general public who is coming in, and we have great tools at our disposal to tell where they're coming from. It's not just the citizens of Shreveport-Bossier that are spending their money at the Revel. It is, I would say, the majority for sure, but we have a lot of folks that come from East Texas, and this past year we did a little bit of a different marketing campaign and spread our wings very wide in a digital way, but very targeted to an art buying audience. And we saw a great increase of people coming from Austin and Dallas and Houston, from Jackson, Mississippi, Little Rock, Alexandria, and Baton Rouge specifically to look at the art, and they spent money, and that is huge. I mean, all of those artists, they still have to pay, their Caddo and state taxes after the festival's over. So,
well, we went on a
it's
Thursday
driver.
night, and it was beautiful. It was packed, even though we had to park a little distance away.
Yep.
Felt very safe walking up. Felt safe there the whole time. Some people would tell me, "Oh, I don't want to go downtown at night," but I felt safe. How do y'all keep it so safe down there?
Well, there's a couple of people that deserve credit for that. I would say the first is obviously our city, our facilities people with SPAR have worked so hard to improve the facilities downtown, improve the lighting in the approach areas for the festival. And it's been an ongoing effort over the last several years to improve the quality that people see. That's a huge thing that most people don't realize, that it can make or break an experience. When you're walking towards a festival, all the street lights are out, there's broken sidewalks and things like that. It just doesn't feel, it makes you feel differently.
Yeah.
When it's clean, when there's sufficient lighting, the approach is nice, even if the businesses are closed on the way. It doesn't give you that negative feeling. And we also have great partnerships with Shreveport Police Department, our professional security services, and the EMS to, put a perimeter around the festival and ensure that everybody's enjoying themselves safely. And then, of course, again, I really do believe that the lighting inside Festival Plaza, same thing as outside, makes all the difference. So when you have facilities people that understand that type of thing as well, and they work hard to help create an atmosphere that feels and looks good, that is going to be something subliminally that makes people feel a lot safer and more comfortable to be there.
This thing's quite expansive. Any idea how many people it takes to put this on every year?
Oh, wow. Well, I know that we have 60 to 75,000 people attend.
Okay.
Wow.
And the interesting thing about the festival that maybe not a lot of people know is that we do only have 2 full-time staff members.
Really?
We do, and we have a contract worker that works more than part-time on marketing and on the farmers market, and then we hire usually about 2 seasonal people to work in our office.
That's amazing.
Before and after.
Yes.
The rest of everything else is all volunteer-led and run.
Holy cow.
Of course, we pay our vendors, the Shreveport Police and the professional security services. We have a staffing agency that does cleanup on site throughout the festival while it's going on. And there's city workers that are doing maintenance and upkeep. And of course, EMS is on site as well. So, gosh, I don't know how many people it takes to put it on, but I know that we have 1,000 volunteer position shifts, more than 1,000 volunteer shifts for every festival.
Yeah.
So
Well, how do you get the volunteers? And also, you talked to me about a membership opportunity for people. It's a fundraiser, but it's also cool to be a member.
yeah, we have a really great volunteer platform that we use called VOMO that is really simple for people to sign up for, and then once they sign up one time, then they can just go and click a button and they can sign up for any shift. And it's been very helpful to us to sort of keep track of everything. It's not really like a CRM where we can go back and like send them a bunch of emails and stuff like that. It's more just like this helps us communicate when your shift is coming. So there's some settings in there, like you can get text alerts or email alerts or whatever to remind people what they've signed up for. And it takes a lot of asking from our team to build it. We kind of have to build that team. A lot of people would love to volunteer, but the one thing that they haven't had yet is they haven't been asked, and that's what it takes, is for somebody to ask them to join the fun. And it is a lot of fun to volunteer at the festival. Our group has a great time. I mean, they really do.
You looking at me like I should volunteer?
Well, you said it was cool, so you're the
Well,
coolest guy I know.
Oh,
so.
come on. You need to meet
So
more people,
he
Jeff.
he always asks this question, but he hasn't. So if people do want to get involved and they want to find out how to take part in this, how do they get in touch?
You're asking now. We're asking
I'm
now.
asking you now.
Our website,
There you go. That's where we're going
redriverrevel.com. That's where it's at. Yeah, it's a really great resource.
RedRiver.com?
Redriverrevel.com.
RedRiverRevel.com.
Yeah,
Another
that's a great-
That
alliteration.
escaped you, right? Huh? The Red River Revel.
And then also on that website, under the donate portion, is a membership called the 76 Club, which is named after the year that we were started in 1976. It's a throwback to that, and we really think about it as just a standard membership, kind of like your alumni dues for your university or something like that. That includes tickets to the festival, and then recognition in the guidebook and on some of the big signage that's on the site, as well as a number of like 1 or 2 VIP balconies tickets, and then invitations to other special events. So one of the special events that we do is in June. We will announce and reveal our poster and music lineup, and so we have a party for that that's specifically for our membership and our sponsors. And people will come and eat great food and get to see what we're planning for the festival this year. It's the big reveal, and it's a way that we show appreciation and also keep people sort of inside the organization and make them feel connected.
And there's like a VIP tent at the Revel or something.
Yeah, our VIP is awesome.
No,
I'm thinking about joining just so Jeff and I can walk up and I make him stay outside.
That's what VIP is all about. That's what it's all about. Yeah, the VIP is right next to the main stage. We have some local artists that help us to decorate and make it look awesome. And it's got great lighting in there, and it looks really great. We had a farmhouse table in there with great couches and a TV with the football games on, and free beer and wine, and there's snacks and giveaways. We had some merch and stuff to give away,
and it's not that expensive to become a VIP member, would you say?
No, the membership for a year is $250 for an individual, $500 for a household.
I don't see how you could get ahead if you have all you could drink beer and peanuts.
Right,
Some of the guys I know.
We got about a minute left here.
Man,
so
we didn't even talk about Cork.
Oh, well, get it in real fast.
Quick, tell me about the Cork Wine Festival.
Cork Wine Festival is our biggest fundraiser.
The Red River Revel's in the fall.
Yeah, and in the spring.
And then the spring is the Cork Wine Festival.
It's always the first weekend of April, first Saturday of April. It's 3 hours. Tickets are $100. We put those on sale within the next month or so. Usually by the end or beginning of the year. And
can you go to your website and get on the
yes,
list
you can.
Okay.
Yep. Try over 100 wines, tastings from a dozen food vendors, and it's the social event in the spring.
And there's real wine too. It's not just like cold duck or some sweet stuff like you said you like.
Well, that's
we have
my
that.
style.
We have that, but yeah, we have vintners that come that are serious vinters. That
you said Duckhorn comes out.
Yeah, Duckhorn's one of my favorites. The vintner comes out. Yeah, he comes out and he's a good time. He's a wealth of knowledge. He's a ball of energy. He's fun to hang out with and drink wine with. And so it's a
we might come back just to talk about the wine festival because that's super cool too. So you got the Red River Revel in the fall.
Go for it. Yeah.
Wine in the spring, and you're working all year round to make all this happen.
That's right.
So very cool, man.
Sounds good. Logan Lewis, right?
Yep.
Logan Lewis sounds like a Superman character. Double L. That's it for Good to Know Shreveport-Bossier. Thanks for being here, everybody. As always, this has been Good to Know.